Welcome to this video about the care act duties in relation to outcomes, needs and care and support. Please note that we have other videos about this topic on the Sky website, as well as other resources and a handout with some key messages and reflective questions that will support you embedding the learning from the video. Today we're going to explore care and support on the context of the Care Act, what it is. My name is Carmen and with me today is Paula. So the Care Act is very clear that care and support is the new way of ensuring individuals meet their eligible needs, or we support individuals meeting their eligible needs. It's not that the word services is now substituted with care and support, it's more the concept of services is substituted with care and support. And care and support is way broader than services. It's not only traditional services, it's services in general. So there is two things here. The focus is in providing care and support and meeting eligible needs. The focus is not in providing services. The other thing that is important with the term care and support is that it doesn't include only services paid or arranged by the local authority. Yeah. So what else, Paula, can you bring to the conversation to explain to our listeners the differences between care and support and services, so the broadness of the concept of care and support?
Okay, so care and support means that there's an extensive number of resources that could be available, that could be suitable to enable the individual to meet their eligible needs and achieve the outcomes that's, on their care and support plan. And so it means that in partnership with the individual, the social care practitioner is looking at ways in which we can support the individual to be an active participant in any care and support that might be needed to enable them to achieve those outcomes that have been identified. So that might be looking at universal services. That might be looking at what an unpaid carer can do to support the individual moving forward. It's about being as creative as possible with the individual in looking at the ways in which care and support can build on this, the skills and the abilities that they have already got, so that they can contribute towards meeting that outcome that is, that we're looking at with them. It's about thinking outside of the box, and it's about listening to what is going to work for the individual, because the purpose of that care and support is to enable that individual to achieve outcomes so that they can live a life that matters to them.
Yes, and you're right. And obviously, as a legal duty for the local authority, is about meeting the eligible needs. Yeah, because as we explained on the video about outcomes, the personal outcomes may not be fully achieved because some of them are not achievable, and that's fine. But that doesn't mean that we're not meeting the eligible needs, which is the legal duty for the authority having regard to the personal outcomes. And it's interesting how it's not sometimes so much the what is used to meet those eligible needs, but the how. So if we have, universal services in the community, like there is a, knitting club going on in the library once a week, yeah, so that could be a preventative service, yeah, in a lot of instances, but it could also be used as care and support in a support plan to meet somebody's eligible needs, yeah, the same way that, as you said, an unpaid carer. So the important message here is that and you said it really well, but I'm gonna repeat it and steal your words a bit, is about when we have a list of eligible needs and we have identified the personal outcomes, we use a strengths-based approach, sitting down with that individual and working in a collaborative way, saying, okay, what is the best way and the most efficient to meet your eligible needs. How can we do that? And we are as open-minded as possible for this. And the reality is that in some occasions, we may be able to support the individual in meeting all their eligible needs without any services arranged or contracted or paid by the local authority. And we need to look at what is going on in the community. We need to start, as you say, from the individual. Which resources do they have? What can we actually enhance or promote or train? Because it may be a possibility to do those things, in the individual, but also who is the individual in contact with, who is in the individual's network. And it's like we go outwards. We start with the individual and we start contacting all the other layers. And the layer of the provision of services by the local authority is the last one, not the first one. And that's the key change from the Community Care Act onto the Care Act, isn't it? The Community Care Act was a lot about off-the-shelf services, one size fits all. The Care Act is there aren't off-the-shelf services, and one side does not fit all, and that's why it introduces the personal outcomes, and that's why it talks about a strengths-based conversation where, as you say, the individual is an active participant as much as possible. But we talk in other videos about independent advocacy and how the individual can be supported. We talk about information and advice and how they can lead the process. So it's about using all the tools at our disposal to ensure that we maximize the opportunities for care and support when the times arrives, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, it's around just a little bit of myth busting, really, that individuals that we work with want a service, okay, that is what they're looking for, but actually it's not always the case, and actually it's not often the case. And just to give an example, I worked with a gentleman that had multiple sclerosis, and to the point that he was only able to move his little finger. So he was joint funded with adult social care and continuing healthcare. He hated having people in his house 24 hours a day. He wanted to be able to sit by himself and choose what music he listened to. And so when the Alexas came in, and it gave him the opportunity to say, Alexa, play Mozart or whatever it was so liberating and so empowering for him, because for just 1 hour a day he was able to be on his own and be in control of what happened in that time. So that was perfect care and support for him without the need for a service.
Yes. And absolutely. And sometimes it's also our role as social care practitioners to educate people on what else is there, isn't it? Because they may say, I want this, I need this is, but the reality is they may not know other options, And Alexa is one of the examples why we should explore assistive technology and any other type of equipment, because people may not ask for it or may even be a bit reluctant to it at the beginning because it's something that they don't know about. And, this is people, generally the people we deal with is not people who is at their best, but the opposite. So anything new creates uncertainty, creates an element of, vulnerability. And so it is our role as social care practitioners to work with them, explain how things work, even sometimes give them the reassurance that there are options, and can we try this, can we see how it goes. And it's very different from imposing, hence why the strengths-based and collaborative approach in exploring things. Because if you tell somebody with multiple sclerosis who can't move, yes, you're going to be on your own for an hour in a day, you just need to talk to this thing, probably they will say, oh my gosh, no way, it's scary. But the experience of the liberations, the independence, has to be amazing for this person. So it's all about that, trying and explaining and working with the individual on the different options and seeing how they go, but give a chance for their feedback.
Yeah, absolutely, Carmen. And I think that, you know, that bit is the most crucial for me as a social care practitioner, is that, you know, when we come to putting care and support plans together, it's a fantastic opportunity to get creative and you know, really feel like you're doing something to support a person to make choices and, you know, live a life that's important to them. But we have to remember that at the heart of that care and support plan is the individual. And so, as with when we do an assessment of need, social care practitioners should support the individual to lead that process. We should be doing that equally the same when we're looking at care and support.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think one thing for me also, Paula, is not to lose sight of the fact that that care and support plan, that care and support that goes into the support plan is going to be an important part of what that individual's life is going to be about. And it's not our life, it's their life. So reason enough to actually just have them involved as much as possible, because we social care practitioners are a tool that will put at disposal of the individual, you know, what is out there, what is accessible for them, what are the different options, what are the pros and cons and the risk, and but the decisions should be made by the individual, and we need to provide with enough information and advice so they can make as many decisions as possible themselves, because it's their life, it's not ours, really.
Absolutely.
They are the ones who have to live with that care and support, not us.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much, listeners. We hope it is clear that the concept of care and support that the Care Act brings, as many other terms that the Care Act introduces, is not an isolated concept. It links with many other things, in this case with a strengths-based, with prevention, with promoting individual well-being, with individual being involved with independent advocacy, and that you come back to enjoying the development of a support plan jointly with the individual as a innovative and creative activity where options are explored with an open mind. Thank you very much.